Hello there, hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just gonna be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always. So reports now are coming in relation to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So as reports do currently mention of course, in the process that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is set for contract negotiations, reportedly as well. So reports are coming out now that he is favourite, to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, of course. And obviously, it will cost us a compensation package around £7-8 million, to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis. Because as reports did, mention a couple of days ago in the press, that reportedly Manchester United is still looking at the possibility of Michel Pochettino, and obviously, Ed Woodward, still may consider, wanting, Pochettino to come in at the end of the season, of course, as well. But based on Solskjaer's fantastic progression, he's done so far, since he's come to the club, and he's had 3 fantastic months, as Manchester United. As Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Manchester United are opening, to having sorting, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer permanent contract out with Manchester United. So reportedly Solskjaer is set for permanent contract negotiations. So reports have been coming out of the media saying that it's in the Evening Standard. It's also in a few other media outlets I've read as well. Reports have currently mentioned that reportedly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's current agent is set to have negotiations with Manchester United and Ed Woodward over getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a permanent contract with Manchester United as well. Maybe, these negotiations will maybe start in the next couple of weeks, of course, as well. Even though it initially said before that obviously, Manchester United obviously, want to confirm this month, of course, as well. And reports are coming out like, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? I was currently updating you on when it did say Manchester United, were set to have contract negotiations, of obviously what length of the contract, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will be getting, and all that. And he actually did say, that he will be signing a new 4-year contract worth around £30 million. It did say, It did also say, bonuses could be involved as well, as it did currently mention, and it did say his annual salary would be around £7.5 million per year as well. So he did currently say he was willing to accept, less than currently what Jose Mourinho was on. So he did say Solskjaer, would receive, half the wages as well. But it is a big pay rise, compared to what he was on at Mould, because he was only on like £400,000 a year with Mould as well, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he did initially say 3 or 4 weeks ago that his contract, would be a 4-year contract term as well. But we are looking to get Solskjaer on a permanent contract term at Manchester United. So reportedly his agent is set to have negotiations with Ed Woodward and that, so they can come to an agreement of getting Solskjaer a permanent contract term at Manchester United, of course, as well. Because obviously at the moment it's still not officially announced, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is Manchester United manager on a permanent basis, of course, as well. But we know he's only going to be a cheap alternative. We've initially paid 1.8 million, to get him on a temporary basis, and we don't have to pay a compensation package of around £7-8 million. To get Solskjaer on a full-time basis, of course, as well. And obviously we know Ed Woodward, obviously Ed Woodward's, fate number 1 for a long time has been Mauricio Pochettino, of course, as well. But the difference is, Pochettino hasn't got a great pedigree in terms of winning any major honours. We know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't got a great managerial pedigree at the moment in terms of winning any major honours. Hasn't really, had any long tenures, so far his managerial career, of course. And obviously if he does get the job on a full-time basis, he's thinking ahead of the next 5 or 10 years or something like that. So he will want a long tenure as Manchester United manager, if he does get the job on a full-time basis. And of course the difference between Solskjaer and Pochettino's obviously got he's got more managerial experience than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But Solskjaer knows the club inside out, don't forget, from being a great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson, of course, as well, winning trophies and scoring loads and loads of goals. And obviously his most iconic moment was in that 1999 final as well. And he knows the club inside out. Pochettino doesn't know much about Manchester United. I know he's well Premier League proven, and he's done a really, really good job with Tottenham as Michel Pochettino, and his record at Tottenham's very, very good in terms of, the games he's won and all that, but he hasn't proven himself in terms of winning any silverware as Pochettino. And obviously Tottenham need investment in the summer, if they're going to be, challenging for titles and, challenging for trophies and all that. And, they have been very, very consistent, and they have been up there, there has been a shout of Tottenham, since Pochettino has been recommended in there. But we do know that, we we'd have to pay a compensation of around 35 or 40 million pounds to get Mauricio Pochettino in at the end of the season. And of course, with that money, we could actually get a sign there with that money. So it's obviously Solskjaer's a much cheaper alternative, to be quite honest with you as well. But we know there's been a lot of negotiations, going on about Pochettino, and he only signed a new 5-year deal with Tottenham last summer as well. And his record was very, very good at Southampton, when he was there, even though he did have a short tenure. But now this is his 5th season at Tottenham with Pochettino's as well. So he has been managing since 2009. This is now his 10th season in management, all in all, of course, as well. And obviously, Pochettino has no intentions of leaving Tottenham. He's very happy with Tottenham, of course, and I don't think Daniel Levy would let Pochettino leave anyway. So I think he's very, very happy with Tottenham, to be quite honest with you. But I think Solskjaer's now, the favourite to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, based on his fantastic progression so far as well. He's done really, really well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and obviously he's planning, he's been discussing, the club's summer transfer plans, of course. He's obviously, been in discussions, with Ed Woodward, regularly, what players, should come in, what players should go in the summer as well. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know, has instructed the board, to sell 3 players as well. So basically, Solskjaer told Manchester United, he wants 3 players out of the club this summer as well. So he's basically said he wants 3 players out this summer as well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But there's a few targets, he's interested in bringing in. And reportedly, we're going to get around £200 million to spend this summer. I think, Solskjaer's identified, the key areas where Manchester United do need to strengthen up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reportedly did tell the board, that he wants around 4 summer signings this summer as well. But Solskjaer, needs to try and recommend the right players to come in, to get us back being a competitive elite level football club as well. But we do know that new additions are needed in the summer, because we do know that players are going to leave as well. But I think Solskjaer is focusing on attacking additions to the squad, to be quite honest with you, as recent reports did suggest out that he wasn't interested in buying Sorry, just got a cough. In buying any defenders this summer, because he wants to give our current defenders, a chance to impress and prove themselves, of course, as well. So I think his priority, is to recommend the right winner to come to Manchester United this summer as well. And I think he's interested, in bringing an attacking midfielder to Manchester United as well. But obviously, it would be ideal, to maybe, get some young players, as I did say. Obviously, because it does seem to be a lot of the experienced players, that do seem to be, causing us the problems as well. So yeah, as I did currently say, reports have been coming out saying that, we know, so I think Solskjaer's going to get the job on a full-time basis. As I said, we need to get back to winning ways, of course, after this international break, after suffering back-to-back defeats, before the international break, of course, as well. And obviously, we need to get into Champions League football for next season, so we can have a more competitive summer transfer window. And obviously, so it's either, we win the Champions League, which is going to be very, very difficult, and that's our only chance of silverware now, of course, because we're out of the FA Cup. Or if we don't win the Champions League, try and finish in the top 4, of course, as well. And obviously, there's quite a few teams, going for that top 4, of course. Now, there's about 3 or 4 teams in it: Chelsea, us, Arsenal, and Tottenham, all fighting for that top 4, of course, as well. So it is essentially, that we do get that Champions League qualification for next season. That'll make us probably, have a more competitive summer transfer window as well. But as I did currently say, reports have been coming out that saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agent is set to have negotiation with Manchester United and Ed Woodward, of getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a permanent contract at Manchester United, of course, as well, as currently reports do mention. So he's still definitely, the favourite, to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, of course. And he's done a really, really good job, we've won at the likes of Arsenal away in the FA Cup, we beat Chelsea away in the FA Cup, we've won away at Tottenham, we've beat PSG away in the Champions League as well after being 2-0 down in the first leg, and we've had positive results. The performances have been very, very good. Solskjaer's been getting the best out of these players, and he's followed Alex Ferguson's philosophy, and he's got this team playing with tenacity, and he's got them playing to this, to the highest level as well, which is very, very good indeed. So as I did say, Solskjaer is obviously already making plans for the summer, of course, as well as we all currently now. And we've got a board that can invest, who Solskjaer wants to bring to Manchester United this summer, of course. But as I did say, Solskjaer wants to sell 3 players this summer. I think maybe more than 3 players, will leave Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. So that's the news to update you on that. But as they have been, updating you, on some transfer rumours, that have been currently going on as well. And obviously, And obviously, the main transfer rumours, have been currently updating you on, and reports, as we all know, have been coming out about Jadon Sancho, because we do know that he's been Manchester United's main priority target, as we all know, as well. So recent reports have suggested out that I think he's put a transfer hint in, and reportedly he's interested in making a move to Old Trafford this summer. Is Jadon Sancho as well, and we do know there's been a narrative going on about it now for the last 3 or 4 weeks, something like that as well. And reports have been saying that Borussia Dortmund do demand that they want £100 million for the player. Manchester United do believe that if they can land Jadon Sancho for around £80 million, of course, as well. But either way, this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever. This would make him our most expensive signing, of course, as well. And if we were to get Jadon Sancho this summer, he'd be a great addition to the team. I think he'd bring that extra firepower. He'd be, I think he'd complement our attacking line very, very well. Shows that ability to attack. He can provide. He can score goals, and all that as well. And he's proven this fantastically well, with Borussia Dortmund, of course, as well as, Jadon Sancho. He's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years, and he's risen up the ranks. And since he's broke into the first team, Jadon Sancho's performances have been fantastic, indeed. To be quite honest with you. He is still under contract with Dortmund until 2022, of course, as well. But obviously, he's attracted interest from quite a few teams across Europe, as Jadon Sancho, as we all know, as well. But reports are stemming a while back saying that Manchester United were prepared to pay up to £100 million for him. Obviously, we've got the financial power, to meet his valuation, of course, as well. Because obviously, we know we're a rich club, and obviously, we didn't invest back in the January transfer window as well. But he did serve a couple of years at Manchester City, as we all know, did Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. But he never broke into the first team with Manchester City, did Jadon Sancho. And this is the main reason he left City and went to Borussia Dortmund, of course, as well. And obviously, he actually began his youth career with Watford, as well. But we do know that, Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with the players. They sold Aubameyang for 59 million. Sold Ousmane Dembele for 105, 106 million and all that. So they have been known for doing business with their players. But we do know that Jadon Sancho is not going to come cheap, as we all know, as well. And I think it'd be, is Jadon Sancho the solution to our problems? I'd say yes, indeed, because he's mainly a winner, and he can score goals, he can provide, and I think he'd be fantastic indeed. And he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, because he's only 18 years of age. Obviously, only broke into the England first team last year, as well. But we do know that Manchester United have been heavily linked with him, of course, as well. So there's some transfer rumours to update you on, as I have actually been updating you on a regular basis, as well. And as we do As we do all know today, guys, that reports have been coming out about Ander Herrera today as well. It's not today now, should I say, yesterday morning. Reports were coming out about Ander Herrera, and we do know how much of a consistent player he's been for Manchester United. He's obviously, this is his 5th season now with Manchester United. I think he's made about 200 or over 200 other appearances in all competitions as well. During his tenure as a Manchester United player, we do know that Ander Herrera, has suffered rough patches as a Manchester United player. He wasn't really getting the game time under Jose Mourinho and all that, and obviously, we've had him since the Louis van Gaal era, Ander Herrera. We do know how much of a consistent player he is, of course, but since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, Ander Herrera's been fantastic. He's a good ball-playing midfielder, he's galloping forward more, he's breaking up the play fantastically well, and we know mainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first-choice midfield trio is obviously Herrera, Matic and Pogba, because, they look very, very effective, indeed, to be quite honest. But obviously, most recently, with a string of injuries, Manchester United they've had. Obviously, this has allowed more opportunities for the likes of, Andres Pereira and Scott McTominay. And to be quite fair, they've been very, very impressive indeed. But obviously, now we are starting to see players, recover from injury as well. And obviously, Herrera has just recovered from a hamstring injury, of course, as well. And I do really, really highly rate him, to be quite honest with you. But reports have been coming out, guys, yesterday morning saying that PSG have expressed an interest in Ander Herrera, of course, as well. Reports do mention that Ander Herrera, I don't think he's got any intentions of leaving Manchester United and going to PSG. I think Ander Herrera does want to stay at Manchester United, as he has confirmed, and I think he's keen on signing the contract extension with Manchester United, as Ander Herrera, even though Manchester United have been in talks of getting Ander Herrera a new contract, and so far in the process, it hasn't succeeded at the moment, but we have been in talks of getting him a new contract as well, and obviously he comes to an end of his contract term at the end of the season, as does Ander Herrera, of course. But Reports have been coming out today saying that PSG have been interested in him. Reports have been saying that PSG are reportedly offering him a salary of around £150,000 a week, plus a 3-year deal on top of that as well. But I think Ander Herrera, of course, is happy at Manchester United, of course, because obviously PSG obviously are looking for the replacement for Adrien Rabiot, and probably they've identified Ander Herrera as a good replacement for Adrien Rabiot, because Adrien Rabiot is obviously likely to leave PSG this summer. Obviously, he comes to an end of his contract term at the end of the season. He's obviously refused, to sign a new contract with PSG. PSG have withdrawn, from the squad as well. And I think he spent the majority of his career with PSG. Adrien Rabiot's still very, very young indeed as well. But obviously, I think it was looking likely, he was going to go to Barcelona this summer. Adrien Rabiot is, I think a few other teams have been interested in Adrien Rabiot as well. But I think he will leave PSG this summer. So obviously, they're looking to add depth in their midfield, Paris Saint-Germain. Reportedly, they've showed an interest in Ander Herrera, of course, but reports do mention that he still wants to stay at Manchester United. So hopefully we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract as well in the process. So reports have been coming out about that today, saying that PSG are willing to offer him a mega deal of £150,000 a week and a 3-year deal. Or I think it may be more than a 3-year deal, of course, as well. So reports have been coming out about that, yesterday morning as well. And obviously we know reports were coming out yesterday as well in relation to Harry Maguire. I was keeping you up to date on regularly as well. Harry Maguire is obviously an ex-Manchester United target, of course, because obviously we were heavily linked with him. When we had Jose Mourinho, of course, as well. Manchester United, were linked to with Harry Maguire last summer, of course, as well. When we had Jose Mourinho wanted to, he had a few, he had a list of a few targets, he wanted to get into Manchester United, but obviously, the board weren't backing, the signings Jose Mourinho, wanted to currently get in as well. But obviously, we know that Harry Maguire, obviously, was a Jose Mourinho target as well. But Leicester were reluctant, to sell him off last summer. So obviously Manchester United, couldn't get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire. So recent reports do suggest out that Solsjaker does actually want Manchester United, to go sign Harry Maguire this summer, of course, as well. So reportedly Solsjaker has told Ed Woodward, to go all out, for Harry Maguire this summer. Reportedly, it will cost around £65 million in the process as well. But Solskjaer has urged the board to go sign Harry Maguire this summer as well. And I think, he would be open. And I do think, he would be open to the move to Manchester United, would Harry Maguire, to be quite honest with you. Because obviously we were speaking about before, that he wants to play at the highest level. He wants to be in Champions League football. He wants to go to a team, that are capable, challenging for silverware and winning silverware and all this. And obviously he's not going to experience this at Leicester City, as Harry Maguire, of course, as well. So reports do mention, that it will cost us around £65 million. Obviously we've got the financial power, of course, to meet his, we've got the financial power, to meet, his valuation of his wages. So I think Manchester United, are capable of doubling Harry Maguire's wages as well. And he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, to kind of, is he what, I think he's what, 25, is he, or is he 26, now Harry Maguire, is he what? I think he's 25 or 26. I think he's actually 26. Is Harry Maguire now, to be quite honest. But either way, he's got a lot of years ahead of him as well. He's Premier League proven, of course, as well. And I've watched him a few times for Leicester this season. His performances have been very, very good indeed. But we know that we need a centre back. We need an experienced centre back. We need a world class centre back, and we do need someone that can go alongside Lindelof. Because I've been, very, very impressed with Lindelof this season. To be quite honest with you, we definitely need a central defender. So is Harry Maguire, the answer. To be quite honest with you, he's been at Leicester a couple of seasons now, of course, as well. Obviously, he's still in the contract with Leicester till 2023 because he signed a new contract last summer with Leicester as well. Last season, should I say, with Leicester as well. Obviously, he's an ex, Hull City player. He spent a couple of seasons. Obviously, he began his career with Sheffield United as well. Did Harry Maguire as well. So reportedly, his name has been mentioned in the media as well. But we definitely do need to address our defensive deficiencies. So mainly overall, we have improved defensively. Especially away from home. But it is essential, that we do get a defender this summer, of course, as well. So Harry Maguire's been mentioned, and obviously, there were talks going out about Rafael Varane yesterday as well, and the reports actually going on about Rafael Varane the other day, actually saying that reports that were stemming from France saying that he's considering his future at the Bernabeu, and I think he did actually say now reports are saying that reportedly he's considering leaving Real Madrid this summer. So reportedly he's notified his teammates that he does want to leave Real Madrid this summer. There's Rafael Varane of course, and obviously he's been a Manchester United target before as well. Rafael Varane, he's a really, really good player. I think he's only 25 years of age as Rafael Varane, so he has got a lot of years ahead of him as Rafael Varane, but his pedigree is absolutely fantastic at the moment. Is Rafael Varane's. Obviously he's won a host of honours at Real Madrid. I think this is what his 8th season now, is it, with Real Madrid? Is Rafael Varane's. I think this is what his 8th. Yeah, it is his 8th season with Real Madrid. He's made about over 200 appearances in all competitions. Of course, he's won 15 or 16 major honours, so he's won a host of honours, with Real Madrid, of course, as well as Rafael Varane, and he's a really, really good, experienced central defender, as we all know. He adapts every area of his game very, very well. He's good in the air, he's good at intercepting, he's showing that determination, he shows that determination, he can play out from the back, of course, as well. He reads the game very, very well, his composure, he's very, very good, and he'd look absolutely fantastic alongside Lindelof in our central defensive area, of course, as well. So obviously he's spent 8 seasons so far at Real Madrid, of course, as well. I know when he was younger, he spent, he actually began his career with Lens, of course. Obviously only spent 1 season in the senior team with Lens as well in France as well. But obviously we do know that Rafael Varane has actually got a release clause in his current deal of around a staggering around 431 million or something like that. But he is under contract with Real Madrid, I think, still until 2022 as well. But initially Zinedine Zidane doesn't want to lose Rafael Varane because he does know how much of an essential player he is to Real Madrid. But I think reportedly he's considering a move away from Real Madrid this summer as well, because obviously we know that Zinedine Zidane is obviously planning for the investment this summer. Florentino Perez has reportedly giving him a £300 million spending spree to spend this summer, of course, as well. Obviously not too long ago, just being reappointed Real Madrid manager, so this is his 2nd spell in charge. He's only a manager, that's won back-to-back Champions League titles, of course, as well, Zinedine Zidane. So he's identified a few targets, Zinedine Zidane, that he's interested in the summer. Probably players, will depart Real Madrid this summer, of course, as well. So, so reportedly, there's been talks about Rafael Varane, going on as well. And we do know other, reports have been coming out as well, in the last couple of days, as I have been updating you, is in relation to Costas Manolas as well, the Roma centre-back, of course, as well. As I said, 27 years of age, he is a Greek defender, of course, as well, but reports have been saying that Manchester United and Arsenal have been long admirers of the player, and reports do say that from the Italian press, I think, is saying that reportedly Arsenal and Manchester United, could land... Arsenal and Manchester United, could land Costas Manolas in a cut price fee this summer, reportedly as well, if Roma, failed to get into the Champions League for next season, of course, as well. So if they fail to get top 4 at the end of the season, obviously fail to get Champions League qualification for next season, reports have been saying, that Costas Manolas will be allowed to leave Roma, of course, as well. He does have a release clause of around £31 million, does Costas Manolas as well. I don't think he's a world-class centre-back, as I currently said, Costas Manolas as well. But reports have been coming out in relation to Costas Manolas, saying that Man United are interested, Arsenal are interested as well. I think from Roma's perspective, they want to actually, remove his release clause, so, obviously, they can probably, invest a bit more money as well. As I said, he's been at Roma since 2014, and he has been there a number of years now. This is his 5th season with Roma. He's made about 200 appearances in all competitions as well, as the player. He's still got a contract with Roma until 2022, as we all know, as well, as Costas Manolas as well. But reportedly Manchester United have showed an interest in him as well. But reports do say he could be available for a bargain fee this summer, could Costas Manolas as well. And obviously he's an ex-Olympiacos player, he's an ex-Athens player, and he's tall as well, he's Costas Manolas, which is beneficial indeed. He's not a priority, but I heard reports a while back that Manchester United had showed an interest in Costas Manolas as well. But he's 27 years of age, of course, as well. So there's quite a few defenders, but we know that Manchester United of course have been interesting. Obviously the number one has been Koulibaly, as we all know, that I've been updating you on a regular basis, of course, as well. But as I did currently say, we know players are expected, to leave Manchester United this summer, of course, as well as I have been updating you on. Solsjaker's reportedly, So, sorry about the cough. Solsjaker's reportedly instructed the board, to sell three players. So Solsjaker's reportedly tell that Ed Woodward, to get rid of three players. And the three players Solskjaer wants to see leave is obviously, Antonio Valencia. Obviously, we opted against that decision, to give him that new 1 year extension. Of course, obviously, he's 33 now. He's passed it anywhere. And over the years, he has been very, very essential as Antonio Valencia, of course, as well. Obviously, he's got a calf injury at the moment now. He's hardly played in the team this season because we know mainly that Ashley Young, of course, is our first choice right back, of course, as well, even though, obviously not too long ago he signed a new 1 year extension, but by the time his contract is up, Ashley Young's, who'll be nearly 35 years of age, of course, so his playing career will be coming to a conclusion then, I should imagine, as well. So probably Ashley Young will go when his contract currently expires, but, in the summer of 2020, of course, as well. But obviously we know mainly he has been our first choice right back anywhere as Ashley Young. And obviously Ashley Young's been a long servant here at Manchester United. This is what his 7th, 8th season now at Manchester United, of course. Obviously we know Valencia's been a long servant here. This is his 10th season now at Manchester United. Antonio Valencia's is made of 300 appearances in all competitions. He's won everything domestically as well in English football, just like Ashley Young has, of course, as well. But as I did say, we need a young, ambitious, probably, we definitely need someone on the right-hand side, and we need someone young on that right-hand side, of course, as well. And potentially could still say we do need a right back, even though, we actually, have got Diego Dalot, of course, as well. So reports have said that, obviously we know Valencia's coming to the end of his contract at the end of the season. Reports have said Arsenal have been interested. Also, West Ham have reportedly showed an interest in Valencia as well. And we do know, obviously, the other player, it will be Rojo. I think that will be leaving Manchester United this summer as well, because Rojo has enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as we all know. When he first came, he was getting regular in the team, he's getting in the team and all that was Marcus Rojo. And we do know his versatility is very, very good, is Marcus Rojo's. But as I did say, I think he's leaving this summer is Marcus Rojo. And I think Solskjaer wants him out anyway, obviously. And mainly he's enjoyed a difficult time as a Manchester United player, obviously struggled to get a run of games under his belt, struggled, obviously, with a string of injuries. He suffered as a Manchester United player, of course, as well. Just recovered from injuries, obviously back from injury now. Obviously, he suffered quite a lot of injury as well, did Marcus Rojo. So I think he's on his way out in the summer, to be quite honest with you as well. And Sanchez is definitely on his way out of Manchester United this summer as well, as we all know in the process, because Sanchez has been very, very inconsistent for Manchester United, as we all know as well. He's been here just over a year, of course, as well, and he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. Obviously, it may be hard, to find a buyer for Sanchez this summer, of course, as well. Considering the substantial wages he's currently receiving, which is obviously over £500,000 a week as well. But when he has played, you can just see how bad Manchester United seem to perform when Sanchez has played and when he has been given the opportunity. So it just emphasises how ineffective Alexis Sanchez has been, of course, as well. And he's been here just over a year. He's suffered quite a few injuries. He's obviously out now with a knee injury, of course, as well. And he's 30 years of age now, and he has lost that yard of pace. And when he has played, he's looked restricted. It's just looked as though he hasn't been getting that freedom, and he hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, to be quite honest with you, as well. So he's on his way out of Manchester United. He's nowhere near the player he was Arsenal, because he's been in the Premier League a number of years now, as Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. So I think he's on his way out of Manchester United this summer, and I think we may consider sanctioning him out on loan, somewhere in the process, we may come to an agreement, will Sanchez, take a wage cut, or something like this, as well. So he'll definitely, leave Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. And I think other players, could still, I think Matteo Darmian's on his way out of Manchester United this summer as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as well as Matteo Darmian, because he's obviously, struggled, to get in the team, as Matteo Darmian, of course, as well. So players are on the way out, and obviously, in relation to Fred, I don't really highly rate Fred, to be quite honest. I know he does have strong reservations about his game time. We know mainly he hasn't really been given the opportunity, but when he has been given the opportunity, Fred, he's been very inconsistent indeed. And I don't know if he's a long-term solution, to be quite honest with you, at Manchester United, Fred, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, we only got him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk for around, £57 million or something like that as well. But obviously, when we had the string of injuries, when Pereira was given the chance, when obviously Tommy Way was given the chances, I was very, very impressed with Pereira and Scott McTominay coming way, to be quite honest with you as well. But I've been impressed with the majority of the team, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in as well. I've been very, very impressed indeed, and he's rejuvenated this team as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's brought the fear factor back to Manchester United as well. And I do think he is definitely, the right man for Manchester United, of course, as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And obviously, we'll only have to pay, as I did say, £7-8 million compensation package, to give him the job on a full-time basis, of course, as well. But it's just essential that we get back to winning ways after this international break, of course, as well. Obviously, we still know there's some contracts to sort out as well. But yeah, as I did say, guys, that's currently the main thing to update. So the main part of this video is that reports have been coming out saying that Solskjaer is set to be Solskjaer set permanent contract negotiations reportedly, so I think maybe in a couple of weeks, something like that. Obviously Solskjaer's agent and Ed Woodward, will probably schedule a meeting and obviously, negotiate a permanent contract, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well at Manchester United, because obviously he wants to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, of course, as well. He does deserve it, of what he's done, since he's come to Manchester United, of course, as well, because when he came in, Manchester United were 11 points behind top four, and everyone ruled us out, of course, as well, but we are still in the mix for that top four. Of course, I know we've invested a lot of money, since Alex Ferguson retired. Manchester United have invested a lot of money, of course. We've had different managers, since Ferg left, with different philosophies and all that. And probably, the 90% of the players we bought, obviously with the wrong players, with the wrong mentality and all that. But we've seen players come in and we've seen players go and all that as well. But Solskjaer at the moment is still in the he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, of course, as well. So he wants to have a say on our transfer activity this summer as well. And obviously, he's obviously still negotiating it with Ed Woodward, of course, as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So reports have been coming out about all this as well, not too long ago, to be quite honest with you as well. But yeah, guys, I did say, that's mainly everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channels. We do know reports have been coming out as well about Paul Pogba, as I said. He will remain loyal to Manchester United. He insisted for the time being he's happy at Manchester United, as well as Paul Pogba. After reports were coming out saying that reportedly he dreams he dreams playing for Real Madrid and all this, and dreams, playing under Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid and all this. And, obviously Paul Pogba thinks happy at Manchester United, now, of course, as well, because obviously he's getting the best out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is the best we've seen of Paul Pogba, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. He's been mainly getting the freedom to express himself. He's been scoring goals, he's been providing them and all that. And when he's playing in this kind of game, he's one of the best midfielders in world football, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think if Mourinho still would have been here, definitely Paul Pogba probably would have gone by now. Obviously, there's rumours last year of him, making a move back to Juventus and Barcelona, were linked with Paul Pogba as well. But I think Paul Pogba is very, very happy with Manchester United, and he's still under contract here until 2021, of course, as well as Paul Pogba. And hopefully somewhere online, we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract as well, Paul Pogba, of course, well, and does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances as well. But reports do say, he classed Real Madrid as a dream club, but he insists for the time being he's happy at Manchester United, of course, as well. He's happy playing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. Is Paul Pogba, so we don't have to worry in that scenario as well. So as I did currently say, the main part of this video, as I did say, guys, reports saying that Solskjaer set permanent contract negotiations as well. So reportedly maybe in the next couple of weeks, Ed Woodward and the Solskjaer's agent, will negotiate a permanent contract for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is very, very good news indeed. So we obviously, we want him to be named Manchester United manager full-time basis, before the end of the season, of course, as well, which is very, very essential indeed, guys, as we all know. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing to my channel, as always, or if you do consider drop a like or whatever, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you guys all